Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing this USB to USB-C flash drive that has another surprise in it. Alright, so it's going to be a fairly simple unboxing because this is it. Like, this is literally it. The flash drive is this guy. So I actually have one that's fairly similar to this. I've been using for, gosh, probably a couple of years now, or maybe at least a year. It is a USB, let's focus here, It's a USB drive that also is USB-C if you just slide it back and forth. Well, as you might be able to tell, it doesn't hold on great. The little clicker in here is kind of losing its thing. And one thing I forgot to mention in the intro is this is 128 gigs. You can get up to like 512. This guy is 1 terabyte. A whole terabyte in this little flash drive right here in the palm of my hand. Whole terabyte, like, gone. That's insane. That's 1,000 gigabytes for those of you who don't know. So this guy is actually super useful for me at work because I can plug this into a computer, a laptop, anything like that. Or if I have a document or something on here, I can just slide it out here and then access it from my phone. And I don't need a full-size computer everywhere I go. I can just access it right here on my phone. This will accomplish that same task, just being able to swap it around. But I mentioned something really cool that I didn't even know when I got this. I was just like, a terabyte? Really? A whole terabyte? I don't know if I buy this. Like, I'm gonna buy it, test it out, see what the read-write speeds are, see if they're actually as fast as it says, because it says that it is a USB-C 3.1. So it's got the blue USB here, so which leads you to believe that it is the faster USB at a 3.0. But the secret that I didn't know about until I got it, I saw this. Let's bring it in real close here. As you can see right here, we have our flash drive, and it looks a little funny, doesn't it? That USB port looks a little unusual, and that is because it flips up. Wait, what? And no, it's not an Apple. That would be super cool if that became like the Apple iPhone port. No, it is a micro USB, which is becoming almost obsolete in today's day and age. But if you have a device that uses micro USB to transfer information, you can use this guy and then just plug that in. So you put the information onto this using the micro USB. So if you have like an older phone, if you're not one of those people who always have to have the latest and greatest, and maybe you still have the Galaxy S5, that's super cool to me, as well as USB-C. So we've got like the 3 latest options of USB on this little guy, and it's a 1 terabyte flash drive. Super cool to me. And honestly, I know that some new iPads have it. I don't think the new iPhones use the USB-C, but this does help with that crossover with a lot of Mac things other than Mac devices that have the old-fashioned Lightning port. Maybe one day they'll transition. I know that there's a lot of things coming down the pipeline with regulations and things like that, especially over in Europe, where they're saying, hey, if it has a charging port, it needs to be up-to-date USB-C. Since that's going to be a thing for everyone, now we're wondering, what is Apple going to do? Are they going to switch their iPhones to C? Or there's been rumors on things like MKBHD, his YouTube channel, he's talked about maybe they'll actually end up just going wireless and be like, well, it doesn't use the charging port, it uses wireless charging. So we'll see how that goes. But this is pretty cool. Gives you an extra step of accessibility with that micro USB port. If you have a phone that uses micro USB to USB, like, is that not the coolest? All right, so now I actually want to test this. I have USB and USB-C ports on my computer. Unfortunately, I don't have a micro USB port, no way to test the speed on a micro USB. I used to have a Galaxy S5 that I held on to for years, and I regret getting rid of it because this would have been a great way to test it out. But unfortunately, I don't have that. So we're gonna go ahead and plug it into my computer and start running some benchmark tests, speed tests on this flash drive. All right, so as you can see, we're gonna use Crystal Disk Mark here first. We're running 5 tests of 1 gigabyte on our F drive 1000 gigabyte. And we're gonna measure it in megabytes per second. So it is running the test right now. Well, that's embarrassing. This is supposed to be USB-C 3.1, which, what should that transfer at? Let's see. Should be 10 gigabytes per second, so 1,000. Correction, 10,000. It should be 10,000 megabytes per second, which is 10 gigabytes. I did the math of 1 gig to a megabyte. It's 10 gig speed, so that should be 10,000 megabytes per second. I don't know if I had a really crappy USB-C port on my computer, which might be possible. I'm not gonna put it past it yet. But using USB-C, it only did 41 megabytes per second sequentially. That's like the most optimal way it can do it, is 41 megabytes per second sequentially, where it just writes 1 gigabyte in a row 5 times, and it could only do 41 megabytes per second. That's pretty slow. Let's go ahead and try another program I have, which is the AS SSD benchmark. Gonna do the same thing, select drive F, 1 gigabyte, and let's go ahead and start. All right, so this USB-C drive did not do great. Ran it through AS SSD and it only got 39 megabytes per second sequentially, and it just got worse from there. That test took forever, and it shouldn't. I know that USB-C drives have kind of like, you can use them either direction, and so I'm gonna go ahead and try and flip this USB-C drive plugged into my computer to the other way to see if maybe that gets us a better score. Give me a minute and we'll be right. We'll have those scores in a second. All right, you guys, I just ran it again and I got the exact same score. So it doesn't actually matter the orientation of your USB-C in the port. We're now going to pull that out, put it into a USB port, and see if maybe the USB runs faster than 40 megabits per second. For reference, I have 2 regular spinning disk hard drives that are 7,200 megabits per second. Another correction, 7,200 RPM, and I think the slowest one was a 5,400, and it still got 100 megabits per second. Here's the results from that one: 163 megabytes per second, while this flash drive is running via USB-C at 41. That's pretty rough. So let's go ahead and test out USB. All right, you guys, so clearly somebody is fibbing here, because this second test from Crystal Disk Mark shows, again, 41 megabytes per second, which is still less than half of what you would get out of a standard magnetic hard drive. While this is flash memory on a flash drive, it should be 10,000 megabytes, gigabytes per second, which is still nowhere close to our 10 gigabytes per second that we are advertised. Could it be that my USB ports aren't fast enough? Possibly, but 40 megabits per second? I don't think so. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna actually pull this guy out and throw in my SanDisk one that I've been using for years, and we're gonna run a speed test to compare. So this is some off-brand, no name, like there is literally no name. The only thing it says is USB-C flash drive, 1 terabyte. So it is actually this amount of storage that it says it is, but it's not the speed that you might expect. All right, you guys, so that ended up taking a few hours, and I'm not talking like 2 or 3. Like it took hours. Honestly, it's the next day. I let it run overnight. For some reason, this this SanDisk drive did better and worse at the same time. So the first test, which was pretty standard, it did 41 megabytes per second. Then just got slower as it got down. But this one did 161 and then got slower as it got down. So it was faster than my new one, but when I went to do the ASSD one, it was faster at first, and then it just crashed, like got super duper slow. I don't know, maybe it overheated. I don't know, but it's a really low score. I don't know what to think about that, other than this is definitely slow overall. This new USB-C to USB flash drive, as well as micro USB, which is still super cool, like that it has that as an option. Will it be a big problem? I don't think so. I'm gonna go ahead and copy over a bunch of files to this to see, not to see how long it takes, because we know how long it's gonna take, but to see how it performs in like real applications. So I'm gonna like plug it into my phone and access those files. So I have some pretty large PDF documents, manuals, things like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop those in and test it out. All right, so now let's go ahead and do a real world application use. So I've actually put some of my manuals for work on this flash drive, and we're gonna just go ahead and plug it into my phone, and we'll see how it performs. So we'll plug in the drive, it sees it, and then we hit USB. We can see our manuals. That actually opened pretty reasonably quick. Service manual. Let's open this one. Oh no, I don't want that one. That's a small manual. Let's find one of our big ones, like a 75. There we go, Taurus 2. Service manual. And M7570 service manual. And that loaded pretty decently quick. I don't know. And if I scroll down, of course it takes a second to stop scrolling. Takes a second to load. Let's see. So my other flash drive does take a minute to load. However, this might be marginally slower. I don't know. I don't know. Is it bad? Is it terrible? I wouldn't say that, but like it's obviously still loading the manual, because as I get further down, it loads faster. So there's the last page. If I scroll up anywhere, every page is now ready. That's pretty quick. You know what? I think in a usability situation, this will not run too slow for use. The only other thing I could think to do is test 4K video, but unfortunately this camera right here only does 1080p, and even that isn't that best. If you pixel peep, if we don't have great lighting, you'll be able to pick out like dead pixels on here and all sorts of not awesome stuff. Dust on the lens that is behind it. So overall, usability, I'm gonna put it to the test for a while, but I think it should be fine. Let's go ahead and take a look at this on Amazon. Start recording, minimize that. Go to, all right, so pricing right now is actually pretty reasonable. It is on sale, 13% off for $31. Price for storage on $31. What is that? A terabyte. 31.17, and divide that by 1, and that means we're paying 3 cents per gigabyte. For reference, so Samsung has these micro SD cards, and I think this one is on sale, 128 gigabytes for $13.49, which works out to be 13.49 divided by 128, 10 cents per gig. So we're looking at 3 cents per gig for not Samsung name, not the Samsung reliability and speed, but a whole terabyte. Like, we're talking a third of the cost for a flash drive that has USB-C, USB, and micro USB for you. Is the micro USB more obsolete in today's day and age? Yes, but there are still people who use that, who have older devices, and that's fine. If that works for you, awesome. I think the only thing that would make this cooler is if it did have the lightning port for Apple instead of the micro USB. But of course then you'd have to pay like the Apple fee, which would make this thing probably an extra $10 just for licensing. Is it worth it? I think so. I think it kind of is. It's pretty cool. Even if it's just USB-C to USB, that's why I bought it, and makes it totally worth it to me. Let's look at the price history here on Honey. Let's jump out to 120 days, and what do we see? Low prices are $28, $28, $28. So today it's $31, which is not that bad above $28. So if you really want to hold out for a good deal, you can find them for really cheap. But if it's at $40, maybe hold out. The sale looks like it'll probably be coming soon for around 30 bucks. You might be surprised how often you use it if you're using things like flash drives fairly often for your line of work or whatever it is. Or maybe you just want to be able to copy things from your computer to your phone real easy, or from your phone to your computer. This is a pretty useful option. Or even sharing stuff with your friends. Plug it into your phone, plug it into their phone, and you're set. You can transfer stuff. And 1 terabyte, good luck filling that guy up. Let me know what you guys think. If you think this video was helpful, please consider subscribing. If you want to get this flash drive for yourself, go ahead and use the Amazon affiliate links I have down below. You can also just go to my Amazon store, amazon.com/grantbutler/store, I think. Links will be down below. It'll be easy for you to find, but I'll also have a direct link to this down in the description. I am an Amazon affiliate, so using those links do help support this channel with no additional cost to you. So when you go, you click on those links and then do your shopping from there. Even if you don't buy this exact device, that does help to support this channel. So thank you so much for your support, and I will see you guys in the next video.